October 25th, 2015, and we want to know, has Gotham City finally come to respect Keyes and Alvarez as much as we do?
Is Oliver Queen's Guide to Dating going to show up on Oprah's Book of the Month Club?
All this and more is coming up now. It's weeks 14 and 15 of the DCU starting now.
This day, we rescue a world from mysticism and tyranny and usher in a future brighter than anything we can imagine.
Up in the sky! It's a bird!
It's a plane!
It's
Distress Citizens Radio.
Hey everybody, it is I, Sean Lamont, comic book reader extraordinaire. I think, actually, I lost the title. It's been a little while, so I'm going to try to earn it back. But coming at you with another episode of the DCR podcast alongside Mr. Brian Gline. Hello, sir.
Hello.
No. We're stopping right now. We are back from our weddings, in my case, anniversaries, and yours. You guys went off to
General Halloween tomfoolery.
The world of Disney's.
Yes.
And did Disney-like things, and I don't
and
know.
ran ourselves into the ground doing so.
Pretty much on both accounts, be it fiscal and just energy and everything.
Yeah.
We're just laying here in not piles of money.
No.
But we are back. We're going to try to do this where we do 2 weeks every week until we catch up into the present day. I am a little ahead on some of the books, but I don't want to try to spoil
I am
things.
not. So I am going to act like nothing is happening.
I had this strange
Telos
thing.
might have come out already. I don't know.
No, I had this strange thing where I was sitting down last week and I was going, okay, I have like a month and a half of books ahead of me here. And when you have that much in front of you, it's a chore. No offense, but when you're looking at it, you're like, holy shit, I have like 80 books to read. You're going, oh man. This is going to take me a little while. But by the time I got through the stuff for this episode, there were a couple of these that I was just like, well, I want to know what happens next. So I ended up jumping ahead on some of the books here. So I'm going to try to keep away from that stuff myself. Brian obviously will do a masterful job of that.
I'm going to be amazing at that.
Masterful. But as a forewarning, since it's been a little while, we are going to go over all of the books released by DC Comics in their DCU line, in this case from the first 2 weeks of September.
Week 14 and 15.
Yes, and when we do so, fair warning to all of you, spoilers are ahead. We're going to talk about the things that happen in the books, plot beats, character development, storylines, etc. Some with a little more brevity, some we'll dig into a little bit. But as such, if you do not want these books spoiled, do not listen ahead. I.e., if you as well are 6 to 8 months or 6 to 8 weeks behind, we're right with you though.
Yeah.
We're right with you. So without any further ado, Brian, let's jump, let's just shamble.
We are a shambling husk.
Let's shamble into these week's books.
These week's books. All right. I'm starting off with the wonder that is Green Arrow number 44.
The wonder, huh?
Yes. After the last issue where things just sort of, it just sort of ended rather abruptly with the gigantic, Omnidroid things that were floating around the city of Seattle.
Great setup. It just seemed a little rushed was all.
Yeah. We are going to slow down a little bit. Oliver Queen is trying to take a new lady out on a date. And in case you're wondering if your boyfriend is just not that into you, if he brings his giant freaking wolf with him to walk around downtown Seattle, maybe he's just not that into you.
Is that how it's going to work?
Maybe.
Is this the dating tips from Oliver Queen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oliver Queen and Greg Barrett, they're wearing their leather strap wristwatches and man scarves and just kind of,
Oliver woke up and she was still there and he's like, hey, you want to go walk my giant wolf dog?
Yeah, hey, you want to know a great thing to do with a gigantic wolf dog on a date? Take him to a fish market where they throw the fish around and see if the wolf doesn't try to eat all those fish. It's a great plan. It won't mortify your date at all. Oh, my God.
Oliver, I know you were rich and eccentric at one point, but you're not rich anymore.
So to try to break the ice, Oliver decides to take both his girlfriend and the gigantic wolf to the creepy fortune-telling lady covered in warts.
Man, he's good at this dating thing.
Who then immediately rips a hunk of fur out of the wolf and starts bloodletting into a crucible in order to tell us the origin of George the Wolf. In case I haven't told you yet, the wolf's name is George.
Does he love him and pet him and call him George?
I don't know. You know, on a personal tangent, when we went to Universal Studios, they do a little thing where like a baby raptor is born, and no one could. And there's like, "Hey kids, would you like to maybe name the baby raptor?" And like no one says anything. So after like a minute of kids just standing there staring, my son raises his hand and says, "Maybe we can call him George." So when I saw this, and yes, there is now in fact a baby raptor at Universal Studios named George.
Nice.
But yeah, so I was. So yeah, when I read that, I'm like, oh, that's even funnier to me. So back in the long ago, maybe not that long ago, but it was long enough ago, there was a pack of wolves that just murdered the crap out of everything in this desolate Canadian mountain town. Animals, people, everything. Eventually, this mountain badass named the Old One, he's so badass he doesn't need a name.
No, that's fair enough.
This is just the Old One.
That's not bad. It's better than the Caretaker.
Yes. So he showed up and just started murdering all the wolves after they, murdered everything else. And he did this because he had an axe made out of the jawbone of a demon.
Okay, that's kind of badass.
It is.
You have to admit that's kind of badass.
So he battled the alpha wolf and cut off his leg with the demon jaw axe. And then he realizes like he's just murdered everything around. He's like, oh, I feel kind of bad. This alpha wolf's kind of cool. So he took it back and reattached his leg using ancient magics.
Okay.
I'm assuming ancient magics with a CK, because that's how ancient they are.
So well. Yeah. This isn't your New Age 2X's magics, because that stuff is just worthless.
Yeah.
Worthless.
And so Oliver's just like, oh my gosh, I have a magical powered wolf tinged with demon powers. And old wart lady's like, no, the wolf I'm talking about eventually found a sled dog and got down to business. You have his kid. It's only part magical demon wolf. The other half is like a Cuba Gooding Jr. supporting actor. Oh, well, I guess that's kind of cool. He did win an Oscar at one point. Oliver, this is the weirdest date ever. Why did you bring me here? So, oh yes, and at one point, this skull mask red ninja cult killed the Old One and stole his demon jaw axe and might be hunting down your wolf or something. So keep an eye on that. Oh, okay. So, after all of that, his date is so mad that the wart lady told her more about the wolf dog than about him.
Yes.
She dumps him. And then, of course, they get jumped by skull mask red ninjas.
Well, yeah.
Looking to tear apart his dog and whatnot.
Do they have a demon jawbone axe?
I don't recall if they did or if they want to make a new one out of the wolf.
That would make sense, yeah.
Something like that.
That would make sense.
Yeah, suddenly, at the very last second, Oliver is saved by a suddenly debuting tarantula.
No,
cool. The female superhero character. Who lets Oliver know that they want his dog's bones. They might be for a demon jaw axe, but also, if I know one thing about bones, they might also want to fashion an armor out of it to keep the ghosts inside of them.
Yes.
So,
if
one
anything,
of those things.
Katana taught us that.
Yes.
Bones will keep ghosts trapped inside of you.
Yep.
So Green Arrow making a bit of a turn there for you.
Oh my gosh, it was so much fun.
No, everything.
Don't feel very bad for his girlfriend, but aside from that.
Well, it wasn't, what was her name? Zebra?
It wasn't Zebra. It wasn't Zebra, no.
Zebra, that's what it was. So, I mean, obviously that relationship was doomed for failure.
Yeah.
The Romeo and Juliet story that was Zebra and Harley.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes, but everything about this book has been great, other than that rushed. A little bit of a too quick of a rush on the last arc, so hopefully they take their time with this one and just kind of have fun.
And I know that then the what was it? The little backup stories leading up to DCYou.
Yeah,
those little 3-page whatever things. I know he was dealing with the red ninja demon skull people. So
so I have a feeling the stuff from the first arc is going to come back into it at some point. That was set up for later on in the storyline. Those characters and the Patrick's, what was it called?
Panopticon?
Panopticon. There we go. Omni, Panopticon, whatever.
I kept calling them Omnidroids. That's my fault.
So next up, we're going to keep it green. Green Lantern, number 44. Let's just head off into space. How you feel about that?
Sounds good.
Okay, it's nice out there. It's fun. Because we have Renegade Hal Jordan, his crew of the pirate slaver Trapper, and the snarky spaceship Darlene have taken their other crew member. I'm trying to think of, because they've all just been kind of tossed together in the last 3 issues, and they've just been on the run and running around all over the place. But their other member, the posh prince Virgo, has been knocked unconscious during their last run in with
I'm just
Relic.
imagining like Space Vega from Street Fighter. Am I far off?
Not too far off. He's
Okay.
not that posh.
Okay, gotcha.
But unfortunately, because Virgo got injured, they need to make a pit stop and find a doctor on some far off planet. But unlucky for them, this particular planet that they chose has been terrorized and taken over by a group of Thanagarian marauders who have been spliced into a nightmare of organs and gene splicing and stuff like that, led by a man named Olio. Does that mean anything to you? Olio's Marauders?
It reminds me of Cornholio.
Okay.
And I'm thinking Bueno Excelente might show up at any minute.
Well,
but
because all of these Thanagarians have been genetically modified and have things strapped onto them, they all have names that basically mean that, and each, it's Olio leading his group called Jumble, Smorgas, Mismash, Medley, Podge, and Pastiche.
no mashup though, eh?
No, mismash. I mean,
Oh, yeah, I guess, yeah.
You got it in there a little bit. And luckily, Hal is able to quickly dismantle them, and unfortunately, though, overloads the gauntlet when he does it and gets himself knocked out, leaving himself to the mercy of Trapper, the pirate slaver who's been not very keen of working alongside him. And during that entire fight, they have an argument because Trapper just wants to kill the stupid Thanagarians. He's like, it's Thanagarians, dude. No one cares. Trust me.
We have the sales records to prove it.
But Hal the entire time goes, nope, we just have to knock him out. And then when he goes unconscious, the last thing he sees is Trapper just kind of smiling, standing over him, and he's like, uh-oh. But he's surprised when he comes to find himself at the doctor's, and Virgo has come back as well, and Trapper actually took him to safety and got him back on his feet. And now the 3 of them are going to head back out into space to find wherever they're going. And there's a little bit more companionship now between all of them. Obviously, they're all working together. They're starting to realize that none of them have a place to go because all of Trapper's pirate gang was killed by the rocks that Black Hand is knocking off from the source wall. They all got turned to stone from the source wall fragments that are floating around out there. And then Virgo, his entire family was killed. And then, obviously, Hal is an outcast from the Green Lantern. Self-outcast, but an outcast nonetheless. So it's the 3 of them with nowhere else to go, so they're just going to hang out with the super snarky Darlene spaceship AI that makes fun of them all the entire time. So I'm kind of hoping she gets a body soon. Kind of hoping. I know.
Not like anything else. I know. Yeah. Not like anything else we like.
It's not Aya, but it's still be nice to get her into the mix, so to speak, on the missions instead of literally just yelling over comms during every battle, like "You guys are dumb." So it's fun. I enjoy it. It's much more of your space bandito just flying around doing their thing than what we've had before, the big epic storylines of gods and monsters and raw source walls and history.
We don't need no
myth.
stinking Green Lantern badges.
I guess not. They have a glove.
Yeah.
The glove is awesome, by the way. So next up, Brian, you remember what's next, right?
That's Lobo.
Yeah, it is Lobo.
Which is you.
Yeah. See, we kind of jumbled up the order right before we started recording, so bear with me in the first. Lobo is also deeply entrenched in the Green Lantern universe right now because he was hired by Sinestro. Sinestro said, "Hey, Lobo, you're good at killing people. I have a lot of people I'd like to be killed, but I'm really kind of feeling lazy this Sunday morning, so could you take care of it for me?" And Lobo said, "Sure, if you're paying enough." So he's been going around murdering people, and now he is after the Indigo tribe, and he shows up on Planet Indigo? I can't remember the name of the planet that they live on. And ends up killing one of them that's gone feral, and then turns his sights on Indigo 1. who attempts to stop him from attacking her by putting an indigo ring on him that is supposed to give him compassion and make him, feel bad, remorseful for the evil things he has done. But he gnaws his own finger off to prevent himself from feeling bad.
Well, that's our Lobo, I suppose.
And at that point, Indigo One just kind of goes, well, might not be redeemable. I'm just going to teleport right on out of here. And that's what she does. She gets away, and Lobo has to take his satchel of lantern rings that he has, like a little sack with loot written on the side, full of lantern rings, and takes it on back to Sinestro and goes, hey, Sinestro, here's all the ones I've killed, but Indigo One got away. Sorry, you didn't tell me they could teleport at will. That makes it a little bit more difficult to kill them. And he goes, don't worry, they'll pop back up again. They always do. They always show up. Besides, I have a bigger threat that I do kind of need you to take care of. And he's like, okay, whatever, I'll take care of it. And that's when we scene cut back out into space where Lobo is now hunting the Red Lanterns known as Rancor and Bleeze.
Hey!
And it's like, hey guys, haven't seen you in a while. It's so nice to see you guys back into the fray, until Lobo impales Rancor with his spaceship and murders him and takes his ring. And I was like, no!
I realize we're the only ones, but
So Bleeze, in a fit of rage and just wanting pure vengeance because, they had like that relationship going on in Red Lanterns, Rancor and Bleeze. They were starting to get close. Mm-hmm. At least something was blooming there. Because she is so filled with rage and wants revenge, she turns to the only person that knows revenge better than her, Atrocitus, and says, Atrocitus! That Lobo guy's being mean.
Sorry I hung out with Guy Gardner and betrayed you.
My bad. He. So now it's going to be Lobo versus Atrocitus and Dexter the Hate Kitty. So that's some good reading, I would assume, is coming up next.
No one knows hatred like a hate kitty.
Nothing. No, we're a regular kitty.
Well, yeah.
Next up.
All right, I think I'm keeping it slightly spacey, but more futuristic with Batman Beyond.
Yeah, more future.
More future than space, but a nice transition nonetheless. Batman Beyond number 4. Former Red Robin Tim Drake, who, as we all know, is currently living under the guise of Batman Beyond. Totally screwed up and brought Brother Eye to Gotham in his Alfred AI in the Batman Beyond suit. So when you go to he should really know when you go to a dystopian future, you're going to have some hop-ons.
Well, yeah, of course. You always do.
Yeah. So he is,
Has he met alternate reality future him yet?
No, he is not.
Oh, well, that has to be coming at some point.
I'm sure. So, but would he even be there because he left the previous time and he jumped forward?
Yeah.
It all depends on what time travel rules we're working at. I think Barbara Gordon has even said, you just disappeared.
Okay. Well,
at one point, yeah.
Maybe future Tim Drake will come back to the past that is the future now.
Yeah, and then he'll go, yeah.
Yeah.
But what if he changes brain. So he's in way above his head. We get to see Micron from Justice League Beyond show up. So if you read that, I guess that's cool.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah. He talks about how awesome he is, and then he probably dies.
Oh.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Or at the very least, he gets eviscerated. Commissioner Barbara Gordon is a total boss and is making Drake look like a total joke. Just like in the rap world, we need someone to stop encouraging Drake, is basically what it comes down to. Yeah. First name greatest, last name never. That's Tim Drake. So old Babs takes him back to the Batcave to get him out of his compromised computer suit. And since there isn't a newer version, there's no Batman Beyond 2.0, he's going to have to wear an older one, the Robot Bunny Bat suit.
Oh, linkage.
Because Tim Drake has no identity. He's just going to steal everyone else's. Why is this book called Batman Beyond? I don't know. At least it looks pretty.
Hey, I thought that they were doing a pretty good job of building up the world around it here.
It's cool. Still don't know why it's called Batman Beyond.
Well, I mean,
it's about Tim Drake.
He's Batman Beyond.
He's wearing now he's not anymore. Now he's
beyond Batman. And now he's going to just go with Batman, and then probably once his suit is fixed, he'll go back to Beyond Batman.
I guess, yeah. He'll be even more beyond. He'll be Beyonder
the
Batman.
Beyonderist.
Yes. He'll get his disco members only jacket, and he'll be Beyonder Batman.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Tim Drake would look good in a Jerry curl, right?
No. I did like the video game version of him where he has the shaved head, like the Arkham Knight stuff. He's got the really short shaved head. He's a little
Tim
bit
Drake
older.
or-
Yeah, Tim Drake.
Okay.
They have him a little bit older in the Arkham Knight stuff, so it's a less teen, more late teens, early 20s. He looks like in Arkham Knight. So.
Gotcha.
So-
Where he was sort of headed in the comics and then abruptly got stopped with. So
Oh yeah, the whole reboot thing.
Yeah.
Does that on occasion. So, still, I'm hoping he finds his niche. Just finds it and fills it.
it's not bad. I would prefer if it was Terry though. I really want
It
Terry.
seems like that's the main thing that
It's
everyone's
like
griping about.
It's like they killed us. They introduced us to Terry and Plastique, amazing couple, super fun. I would like to read more of them. Oh, you're not gonna get that.
But then
you
you
get the
should
bartender
be- you
who's cleaning
should-
all those glasses.
But then you should be vested and feel that no one is safe if that's the case. If they give you that type of intro, you should be even more vested in a dystopian future storyline, because then you're like, holy shit, they already killed off the title character and replaced him. What are they going to do now? What's going to happen? Oh my god.
Eh.
But that's the
I don't know.
vibe it should give you.
I guess.
I mean, I'm obviously that's outside of the storytelling element, but I could see where they're going with that.
Yeah.
And the stakes are high. The world will never be the same again. In the next issue of Batman Beyond.
Yes.
Well, just Batman, not quite as Beyond.
Detective Comics 44.
Detective Comics number 44, finally recognizing the genius that is Keys and Alvarez. Yes, my friends, they get to play a role in Detective as well.
Are we taking all the credit on this one? Or-
No.
no.
So we've come full circle from the preview issues, the ones right before the DCU launched, where Detective Yip, who is Detective Bullock's partner and lover, has been selling out circus seating information that the cops...
Out of context, that sounds so weird.
I know. But the cops are trying to protect all these people for a giant gala that's going to be at the circus in Gotham. And she's been selling that information to the Falcones before heading out with Montoya and Bullock to help out Gordon, Robo, Batman, and all of his stuff. And that's what happens right at the beginning of this. And then she jumps in the car with Bullock and Montoya, and the three of them go charging headlong into the Big O style Joker's daughter, Jokerbot versus Robo Batman battle that's happening in the streets of Gotham City. You know, the huge Tuesday.
I still hope she built the entire robot suit out of pennies.
She did not. But Batman is able to take down this giant Joker bot, but during the fray, the car gets flipped over that Montoya, Bullock, and Yip are in, and we see them, Montoya and Bullock arguing
the
with
prologue
one another.
story.
Yeah, from the preview, they're arguing with one another until they finally go, it has to be this way, and they light the car on fire, and it explodes. And cause they both knew that Yip was a dirty cop, and Bullock was kind of feeling hurt about it and everything like that. But we'll come back to that in a little bit. After Batman takes down the robot Joker, he is forced to meet and converse with the Joker's daughter. And the entire conversation is basically us channeled through Robot Batman. What? Who are you? I'm the Joker's daughter. I'm your arch nemesis. And he's like, no. And he's just kind of like punching her in the face the entire time. Like, no, you suck. No, you don't belong in Gotham City. Get in the car. The entire time he's just like, are you freaking kidding me?
We tried. We gave you a big push, but
you fell a little short.
not unlike the Thanagarians, we've got the sales figures.
Maybe it'll be Joker's daughter and the Thanagarians. That'll be the next crisis. They'll just lead a giant armada against the current DCU.
Maybe.
And then promptly get destroyed and tossed into the trash heap. So Bullock and Montoya figure out, though, from information that Yip had given them earlier, that the circus was the actual target. The giant Joker bot was just a giant distraction for them all. I guess giant robots would make giant distractions.
Yeah.
So they rush on back to the circus, where it turns out Keys and Alvarez are in there because it's the whole trial run where they're all sitting in there by themselves and sitting where important people would be so they can make sure their security details are okay. And they're just complaining about how boring this is. Guys, we're in the murder squad. There's like so many better things we could be doing right now. We got stacks of cold cases we should be working through. And that's when we find out that, in fact, the targets of the assassination are Keys and Alvarez.
Oh, no. They're so important, Sean.
They are. Don't do it. No. I was suddenly vested at that point.
know.
I'm like, no, don't kill Keezer Alvarez.
They haven't kissed yet.
So it turns out that it was Lamorte was hired by the Falcones to kill any cops that wouldn't accept bribes, and because Keys and Alvarez have been leading the charge against all the dirty cops throughout all the other books. Like in Catwoman, Catwoman's been giving them the list of dirty cops that's working with the mob, and they're trying to take them all down.
All the dirty cops that Catwoman smelled.
Exactly. She just walks around going, you. So they're targeting them because, they're the shining examples of honest police work in Gotham City. And luckily, Batman is able to be
They
pointed
can
out.
track down an ice cream truck like you wouldn't believe.
But Bullock and Montoya are able to point out the assassins, and Robo-Batman is able to apprehend them, and the case is closed. Alvarez and Keys are saved, keep Gotham City safe another day. But with the case closed, Bullock prepares to hit the beat with his new partner, Renee Montoya, because Yip is no more. And that's when we find out that it was actually a staged death because she went state's evidence. Detective Yip went state's evidence, and they had to fake her death so that she could hide. And that was his conversation with Gordon, was to help her go state's evidence and get out of the whole thing. And so now she's turning against the Falcones, and it's just going to be Montoya and Bullock moving forward. No more Detective Yip.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
Nothing wrong with that at all. I'm not complaining at all. I kind of like the Yip stuff at the beginning. She was a nice balance to Bullock's cynicism, because she was, at least personality-wise, was a bit more open and out there, and she was kind of pulling Bullock from his cat-laden apartment and just like, no, Bullock, it's not just jobs and cats. You got to come out and, socialize a little bit more, be more of a human being. And it actually turned him into more of a character. It helped round him out a bit in the New 52. And I thought it was a well done arc and a nice send off for her. And, they did a good job.
Yeah.
Honestly, they did a really good job with this arc. I'm not complaining whatsoever. And Keys and Alvarez got to be center stage. That's all I got to say right there.
That's all we can ask for.
I didn't even ask for it. I would have never asked for that because I would have never expected it.
Well, he said they're on the TV show now, right?
Alvarez is. I haven't seen Keys yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We just know it's all leading up to that.
Exactly. And then the show's focus will turn to their moonlighting. Will they?
I'll be like,
they?
I know what the key to this mystery is.
Oh.
It's Keys. It's me. Stop acting like such a penguin.
But Patty Spivot showed up in Flash.
Oh, did she ever?
Yep. So there you go.
Just sat there pumping my fist. All right.
Yes. Next up.
Bat-Mite number 4. Someone who always looks at the sales figures, whether you want him to or not.
Yeah, poor guy.
So, I don't even know about that. I'm just talking about who he tries to fix. That's all.
No, that's what I mean, how he's just going through and grabbing the people that need the help.
Yeah, so Bat-Mite is the absolute worst roommate ever because he's been taken in by young roommates Reagan and Weed, and for some bizarre reason he accidentally burns all of Reagan's old family photos in her photo album, and Weed also hopes that he didn't burn any of his prized possessions.
Yes, you didn't burn that box that was behind there, did you?
Yeah, so in the meantime, Bat-Mite tries to fix Booster Gold, the character least in need of fixing, at least in my opinion. So he tries to turn him into Black Gold. The grittiest. Yeah, the grittiest of all gritty Booster Golds.
Why
Black
didn't he
Gold.
speak with a Texan accent as Black Gold?
I know,
think
right?
he would.
I know.
Have spurs and just occasionally fire 6 guns.
At least dump someone into a cement pond. So they are trying to stop Gridlock, whose whole thing is that he wants to freeze time so it's as awesome as he remembers it in the past. So no one should ever change. Things are always best the way I remembered them. I see what you did there.
Did you ever see the Teen Titans Go episode where the clowns, where Beast Boy and Cyborg remember clowns as being awesome? So they hire a clown. They're like, this clown is lame. It's for babies. Why would it? No, you're ruining it. And they try to make him more extreme to fit the what.
Oh, are we talking Teen Titans Go?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I've really fallen out of loop with them.
The entire episode was them just like, no, you're looking at it through rose-colored glasses. Things should change. And they're like, no way, man. Clowns are awesome. They've always been awesome. This guy's just doing it wrong.
Splendid. So they stop Gridlock, and Booster Gold is able to go back in time and rescue Reagan's photo album. Since Bat-Mite helped him out, he'll help him out. And so, I guess also the moral of the story is Bat-Mite should be encouraged. I'm not sure about sometimes. Yeah, and next month he's going to fix the Inferior Five, who are characters who
Inferior Five.
The Inferior Five?
No, I don't know these characters, do I?
I believe they eventually became the Justice League Antarctica.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
How much crime was going on in Antarctica?
I don't know. They fought some killer penguins.
Did they really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you would have to, I guess.
Yeah.
What else are you going to do?
I believe this is a team that has a character named Dumb Bunny on it.
Did they battle global warming? Did they consistently go outside and just try to keep the ice floes together?
I think this is an offshoot of the Bwahaha Justice League.
Gotcha.
So
they were. Yeah. It was just send them there and forget about them type thing.
Yeah.
You guys have an entire continent to protect on your own. It is Antarctica, though. Just good luck.
Yeah. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure if I'm jumbling up goofy, bad super teams, but I'm pretty sure that's who it is.
Touche. I don't know them at all.
Yeah.
That's so far outside my scope of knowledge. It's not even funny.
I think I only know Dumb Bunny because I think she occasionally shows up in the background of like ambush bug stuff. So
Gotcha. All right. Next up, Midnighter number 4.
Midnighter.
Yeah, Midnighter. This issue, Midnighter and Grayson team up and head to Russia to bust up a
date night, right?
Kind of. It's kind of, but I just have to center myself before I say this. They team up to bust up a fake vampire murder club ring that captures homeless people, turns them into vampires, and allows rich Russians to kill them for sport. It's Midnighter. I mean, he was associated with Stormwatch for so long that this is the kind of shit he deals with, just plain and simple.
Yep.
And the entire time he's fighting the boss vampire that's down in this little slave ring, and he's channeling his inner Senator Benson by going, I know vampires. I've fought vampires, and you, sir, are no vampire. But the entire time he's just laughing because this guy's a genetically engineered weirdo. Another one of those, like, body part things that gives them powers that are similar to a vampire, but he's not really a vampire. Yeah. And whenever he fights them, he'll, like, turn into mist or rats and spiders and bats and stuff, and Midnight.
Well, that's old school.
Yeah, that's what Midnight is laughing the entire time. He's like, dude, I respect the fact that you cling to all the old school stuff. That's hardcore. Your theatrics, A+, number 1. And he's just like conversing with them, kind of like half-ass fighting him the entire time. And then it finally ends when Grayson warns him that he's behind him, and Midnighter does this spinning backhand with his spiked gloves and decapitates the vampire guy to an incredulous jaw hanging down Grayson standing there like, what the hell, dude? He's like, what? I was out of steaks. Sue me.
What else was I gonna do?
Unfortunately, the rest of the homeless people that had been genetically altered, they were done so they could not survive, and they all disintegrate and turn to ash, Buffy the Vampire style, and just kind of poof, disappear. And Grayson's all really ticked off about this. So Midnighter says, hey, let's go have a drink. I'll fill you in on what's going on here. And he tells him all about the Russian arms dealer who is trying to find genetic modifications so that he can sell to warlords and the Russian government and stuff like that, so that he can make cash off of weird weaponry. And this vampire geneticism thing was something he was trying out. Didn't quite work out, but I bet you he would probably be pretty interested in my robot brain, so that my computer brain, and surely he is, but in this case, Midnighter just blatantly asked Grayson, hey, are you willing to work with your best frenemy, me, and go take this guy down? And Grayson's like, fine, whatever. So Midnighter goes, yeah, shots of vodka, woo! They start drinking before they head out because, you know, that's what you do before you go fight for your life.
Shot.
Again, it's the banter play between these two. They really are kind of, I don't want to say respected enemies because they have so much in common, as we said before during the Grayson issues about how, he just got away from Batman and Midnighter is like this pastiche analog of Batman, and he's trying to separate himself from Batman too. He's like, no, man, this is my thing. Batman copied me. I was here first. So it's like these two pair that just want nothing to do with Batman, but their styles and everything are very similar to Batman, and it works really, really well with the two of them together. I really enjoy this title. Really, really, really enjoy this title. So I think I'm wrapping up, aren't I?
Are you doing Omega Men? Yeah, and then that's going to be the end of the week.
The further down the rabbit hole in Omega Men. So well done. So well done. As Princess Callista, leader of the Omega Men, who's pretending to be a captive alongside Kyle Rayner of the Omega Men. Basically, she's just pretending she was captured so she can get really close to him. She plays him like a fiddle just to get him on their side. And they have this whole big conversation. Best way to do a backstory for both of these characters, because it wasn't focused on the facts. It's focused on their feelings now about then. So instead of doing this whole like, oh yes, I did this and then I felt bad, so I did that. It's them lamenting their decisions and how they feel about it now, maybe regrets that they have in the life choices they've made and everything. It's just, it flows so much better as a conversation that way instead of just the 3 pages of, and then I did this, and then I did that. None of it is stated like that in this.
Okay.
It's all done as them telling the story, but then we see the pictures of the past and everything like that. It's them just saying, yeah, I've made bad choices in the past, and you see Major Force like breaking Alex and stuff like that, his ex-girlfriend who's dead, and maybe if I had made better choices in my life, things would be different now. Why did I think I could just leave my ring behind and broker a peace deal between the Citadel and you guys? It's not because I'm afraid, because I'm terrified. And, it's done that way. It's instead of just telling the past, you see pictures that are related to their current conversation. It's good. Yeah. It's very good. So she tells him all about her childhood, how she was forced to murder people she had to kill local nationals every single day so that the local nationals knew where they stood in the pecking order, and she understood her role in the pecking order as well. And that's why she had to murder people, so that she would believe that she was above them and they would understand that they were below them and all these things. And finally she's just so distraught, not acting whatsoever. Acting! That's her special power with Clayface. And
we'll actually be getting to that later.
And she ends up coming over and saying, I know you feel bad that you couldn't save your ex-girlfriend, and that's why you're doing this, because you feel if you stop at any time, then her death was pointless, but just save me instead. I mean, if you need something to fight for, just save me. And she gets all like up close to him, and he's like, this may be a bad idea. And she's all like, woo, batting her eyes at him and everything. And he's like, but, we are in captivity and we got nothing better to do except Netflix and chill. So let's Netflix and chill. And then that's what they end up doing, as the poor cuckolded boyfriend Primus watches from the main screen in the control room above.
Kyle Rayner, man.
Kyle Rayner.
That's a superpower that never winds up on the who's who.
He's got skills. What can I say? He's got a little small tablet so he can throw on Netflix and just chill across the galaxy. That's what he does. I wonder what space Netflix has.
Oh man, I don't know.
I'd probably be more interested in that.
I'd be horrible. I would be super interested in Space Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. I can only imagine.
Space House of Cards would be pretty awesome too, though.
Yeah. Titus Andromedon would still be called Titus Andromedon.
Yeah, pretty much. But that's it. That's all the books from week 14. Some keepers, definitely some keepers in there. I was pretty happy with it. I know we're talking to many of you from 6 weeks in the past, but
yes.
This was a fun week.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. So if you didn't pick up some of these,
it's a nice small week to start us back off too.
That was nice as well. So we are going to take a quick break though. So Brian, what do you have coming up for week 15?
I'm going to have Action Comics 44 and Batman Superman 24, Batman 44, Gotham Academy 10, Justice League United 13, Starfire 4, and All-Star Section 8, number 4.
My goodness, and I got Catwoman wrapping up, not really wrapping up, kind of coming to a head all of the mob drama that's been going on over there. Earth 2 Society, number 4. Harley Quinn Road Trip Special, number 1. Road Trip! Let's see, New Suicide Squad, number 12. And last but not least, the Red Arse of Red Hood Arsenal, number 4. So hold on a couple seconds. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we will go through those books.
And we're back!
No, you promised you would never do that again. But even though we are back.
Give them what they want.
Are you not entertained?
Yes! All right, so we are starting off with Action Comics number 44.
Superman!
So, T-shirt Superman.
Is he shadow boxing still?
Yes, he's actually boxing shadows.
Yeah, exactly.
So T-shirt Superman is getting super mad at all these shadow monsters he has to fight, and they've infiltrated the mayor's office, and she reveals herself to be the head of the shadow monsters, Wrath.
Does she make shadow puppets?
Oh, you mean Wrath? You mean William Randolph's Ace in the Hole? No. That's Wraith. Oh, so you're like the anti-Batman? I thought he was a dude. No, that's another Wrath. Well, it's a little confusing. There's a lot of Wrath.
Are you the 7 Deadly Sins Shazam-style villain Wrath? No.
Listen, I came up with this name way before he used it, and I'm not giving it up just because some dude with hidden tanks decided to put a W on his chest and play Arkham Knight. Okay.
But he had tarps. He had tarps everywhere. Don't you remember? He could hide vehicles via the power of tarps.
I know. And actually, it turned out that the Arkham Knight wasn't Wrath. It was no spoilers. I'm still on Man-Bat. So, Wrath and some shadow monsters try to weaken up Superman. When they disappear and unleash their secret weapon, they've infected Lee Lambert, and now she's got a shadow monster arm.
Yeah!
And she has this staff of, rebar, and she's just jumping around the city, and she's just destroying buildings by punching them. But turns out she was in control the whole time and just punching a pathway to save people from one of the buildings collapsing because of the bad shadow monsters.
But I just have to say, anyone that uses rebar as a weapon, I'm automatically not a fan of them whatsoever. Okay. That stuff just, every time I see it sticking out of a cement block, I'm like, that's how I'm gonna die.
But she looks like some cool, anime superhero with her shadow monster arm jumping around doing shadow monster things.
Fist of the North Star style.
Okay, that's what that looks like. All I could think was it's like an Akira arm almost.
Yeah, that works too.
Or that old, Legend of Zelda comic that used to run Nintendo Power where we had, a wolf arm they had covered up with a bandage.
Hey, what was wrong with that?
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying that's what it reminds me of. So, even though Superman saved the city for now, a bunch of people still hate him for bringing them there in the first place. Well, whatever. Superman's still gonna keep being awesome no matter what people think of him, and Wrath is going to keep scheming evil things in the background with a mystery partner.
Is the partner under a tarp? Because that would be awesome.
It would be, but it's not. It's even better than a tarp, Sean.
Oh, man.
Because we're going to move on to Batman Superman 24. We're continuing the first meetup between T-shirt Superman and Robot Bunny Batman.
Okay.
They're trying to stop a...
Hey, wait, you went off book.
No.
That's not the order these were in.
Did I change it and not send you what the change was?
You bastard! It makes sense.
I switched this up because it makes sense, yeah. So Superman and Aquaman are pretending to fight, so Ukur the Beast Lord doesn't explode an artificial sun in the middle of Gotham Harbor, while Robot Bunny Batman tries to solve all of his problems by blowing things up with the hundreds of tiny missiles he keeps in his shoulder rocket launchers. Yeah. But it was all
Speaking of anime style.
Yes. But it was all a ruse because it was Jim's plan all along to distract Ukur until he could launch the artificial sun into space where it could explode without killing anyone. I sound like a rambling madman.
Hey, at least you didn't have a Russian fake vampire murder club.
Very true. So Lucius Fox decides to help Ukur with Subterranea's energy problem, and everything is all hunky-dory, but Jim Bat still hates Superman. We then have an epilogue where Clark goes to visit brainwashed Bruce Wayne at the Spooky Tree Gotham Park.
Yes, it's back!
The Jai Lee Spooky Tree Gotham Park is still there. So, and it's
It was a
kind
nice
of
callback scene,
it's a
too.
it's a callback to the beginning of the series, where it turned out that brainwashed Bruce Wayne is much nicer to kids. Maybe he should settle down with a nice art teacher or something.
Maybe.
But in the real epilogue, we find out that Wrath has been working together with Vandal Savage, who managed to steal a piece of the artificial sun in the commotion.
Yes!
Yeah. Everything's better with Vandal Savage.
Well, they have to push him since he's going to be the main bad guy coming up here on TV.
Oh, yeah, he is, isn't he?
Yeah, so that he needs to get some screen time just to build him up a little bit.
The squee of delight when they found 52 different rips in
in the Flash?
In the Flash.
Yeah.
Oh. Kelly's just like, are they going to visit the Lamp World? I'm like, they just might.
Well, this one's not very exciting. This is why we don't have nice things.
Yeah, I know, right? Vibe's just acting like Vibe.
Yeah.
Oh, God, love it.
But he's got a bad vibe about things all the time. You make fun of Gotham all the time, but Flash does it just as bad, if not worse.
Don't care. Don't care at all.
So, anyhow, I actually really enjoy the way they're doing the Superman books right now because of the... As we said before, each one of them were focusing on a different aspect of an overarching story, and now we're getting to the point where they're all starting to intertwine, but you still don't need to know the other parts. You just need to know a new challenger has entered the ring.
Yes.
And now the bad guy from this other arc over here is kind of mixing in a little bit, and I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I think you get different aspects of Clark and his role, and his personality changes ever since he lost his powers, or they've been greatly reduced at the very least.
And I've noticed that the current run on Superman is actually getting a lot of critical praise as well, which is nice to see.
Good.
Because it seems like when people are pointing to like what's working in comics right now, a lot of people are saying the Superman being, spearheaded by Pac. And it's like, oh, it's nice to see someone other than us saying that.
I think that was a group effort. I think they all worked together. I know they had a summit before the DCU where all of the people that were going to be writing and drawing Superman books got together and figured out the tone, the style, that each one of them were going to take in their own books. So
I think just because it's kind of continuing off of what was happening in Pac's Action Comics, it seems to be spreading out more. That's kind of what's getting I don't know.
Yeah, I could see where you're coming from with that. Still no little blue monkey guy though.
No.
Still no little blue monkey.
No Baka.
No Baka. Are you just going to do Batman too?
Do Catwoman. I think that's what I've got next.
Fair enough. Well, thank you for letting me know. So let's go deep into the mob drama that is Catwoman. I can never do this book justice because it is warring factions, betrayal, people kind of setting things up for the future and then just so they can stab other gang members in the back. So it's really hard for me to actually convey this one fairly well. But the thing that stood out this week in these books was the amazingly compassionate Killer Croc shows up yet again, because if you remember Catwoman's protege, I guess we'll call her, Aiko, the daughter of the Hasegawa gang family that has been kind of dressing up like a Catwoman and was taking her role while she was head of a crime family instead of out on the streets. She ended up getting shot by Black Mask because Black Mask thought she was Catwoman, and Killer Croc
wearing that Catwoman suit.
Yes, it's a very simple mistake to
make. The
make.
shadow looked exactly like Catwoman.
The profile there looks exactly like it. There's long-range weapons just all over the place. So he ended up dragging her to safety, and he lets Catwoman know, hey, I got your protege. You're not doing a very good job of keeping your people safe. Just wanted to let you know. And as they do that, they're having this conversation. Aiko comes to, and she's like, hey, I'm okay. I'm fine. I'm just going to bandage it up. I'm going to head out and meet Spoiler and everything and then head home. And don't worry about me. It was my fault. I was the one that jumped into that battle, and I should have just not gotten involved with that particular thing. And that's what makes Catwoman finally decide, no, I need to get out of this mob gang. This whole game is just all about to fall apart, and I need to punch out now and get everyone I care about out. And Killer Croc is going, so wise, and just, I love this Killer Croc. I'm sorry, I really, really do. And we'll talk about it again later. And he's just like, it's too late. You're too far in. Someone is going to get killed. You're going to lose something in this whole game that you're playing. She's like, I know, I just have to try to mitigate it and make it as less painful as possible. So Croc goes, okay, well, I'm going to get your protege home. And he picks her up and carries her back and takes her back to the Hasegawa house and lowers her in. And unfortunately, there were cameras there that Black Mask is able to see what looks like Killer Croc carrying a Catwoman back to the Hasegawa house. And the Hasegawas were one of his most trusted lieutenants. They were working with Black Mask, and he's like, oh, they have betrayed me. How could they? They're working with Catwoman. Oh, I should have known it all along. Unfortunately, Selina goes out to meet Antonia and Ward, her cousins, because they've been working with the Penguin, and the Penguin has made an offer to Antonia. If you bring me Selina's head, I will give you the leadership of the crime family. And she was thinking about it, but she's not sure if she wants to do it. And finally, the three of them sit down for dinner, and they all lay their cards on the table, where she's like, look, I'm Catwoman. I know you know that. I'm getting out of the game. I can't do this anymore. I have people I need to protect. And Antonia goes, yeah, Penguin said if I killed you, I could take over. And she's like, well, how about this? You don't kill me, and I just say, you're in charge now. It's your crime family now. Sound like a good plan? And they all start laughing and eating tomato sauce and, like mobsters do. So unfortunately, though, none of this can go clean. We can't get a happy ending from this whole thing, because as Aiko leaves to meet with Spoiler, Black Mask busts into the Hasegawa stronghold, killing everyone there for their betrayal, until she finally comes to Aiko's father and goes, admit it, you've been working with Catwoman this whole time. I know you've been working with her. And he's like, no, I would never do such a thing. And then he shows the picture of Killer Croc carrying what looks to be Catwoman into the building. And that's when he puts one and one together and figures out that it is his daughter, Aiko, who's been off doing it. And with a sigh, he just goes, you're right. I betrayed you. I've been working with Catwoman all along. It was entirely my thing. And Black Mask shoots and kills him right then and there, which was, I know it doesn't sound like much, but it was a really good moment, because the entire arc, this Aiko's father has been very controlling, very much, you have to respect the honor of the family. You have to, old school Japanese Yakuza style. This is what we do. You can't disobey me. You have to follow every order I give you. And it turns out he actually did love her dearly, even though he's been treating her more like a employee mob boss than a daughter. And he just accepts it, takes the punishment so that she can live. And that's when she comes home to find him dead with his blood smeared on the wall, saying, that's what you get for hanging out with Catwoman. And she's just like, no, up into the sky. Camera pans, spins above, rain coming down, arms askew. No! Really well done storytelling. As I say every time, it's I can't do it justice. They're starting to be collected in trades. I highly recommend checking them out. They
probably work the best in a trade too.
Yeah, they do. They really, really do. And I've talked a lot about the storytelling and the character development that they've done in it, and that's been really, really good. The art actually has been astounding. When the series first started, I was like, I can't tell anyone apart. It's all mobsters in suits. I mean, it's Mobster A and Mobster B. It's really,
this
really
one's
difficult.
got sunglasses.
Well, no, then they found their visual cues for each one of the characters, so you can pick them up really, really quickly, as well as the style, the clothing style that they've been doing for all these characters. It's all very reminiscent of, I don't know, like 1600s era royalty. I guess you could say that they keep quoting like the Borgias throughout all of this, because it's very much a royal battle of Catwoman trying to take over the family of royalty and doing this thing. So there's all these Borgia quotes through it, and then they have like a similar style kind of mixed into her clothing, like big wide neck dresses and stuff like that. I don't know. It's hard to describe, but it works really, really well. It's very Tudor style mixed with Tudors mixed with Sopranos is basically what you're getting. And it's so good. So good.
If it's Tudors, does that mean that everyone showing up in Catwoman's going to wind up on
No.
Going to wind up on Game of Thrones next season?
I thought you were going somewhere else with that.
No, okay.
But they could. I don't know.
Yeah.
They could. But again.
That's just a joke. It's like everyone's always like, oh, look, someone from the Tudors showed up on Game of Thrones. Who'd have thought?
Who'd have thought? It's just like everyone from Prison Break showing up on Flash.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't recommend it enough. It is, if that's your style of story, as far as like a deep mob drama, that they've captured that tone in Catwoman. you might want to make sure you start at the right point, because if there's crazy, wacky races going on, you've gone way too far. After that,
if there's a murder museum, again, slow your roll.
Jump ahead a couple issues. That's where you want to go.
After the murder museum, that's what you're looking for. All right.
So next up.
All right, Batman 44, Scott Snyder with Brian Azzarello riding a shotgun, along with Jock on art. Nothing ever wrong with Jock on art.
Nope.
It's a post-Zero Year story about a regular Batman that seems to just be like a nothing one-off about a dead kid named Peter DeGio being found.
It's an awesome name, by the way.
Yeah, I know. Being found in a field, like, he got dropped out of the sky into this field. And that leads him to the Penguin, but the Penguin didn't do it. So it leads him to some gangbangers, but they didn't do it, which leads him to a crooked cop who shoots black kids all the time, and he shot him.
I didn't get that vibe. It seemed like it was a mistake from the cop.
But he had like a previous record of doing that.
He had a record of it before, but this particular scenario was a mistake, and he tried to cover it up.
Which leads him to a hospital where Peter's cousin tells him about how Peter was mad at Bruce Wayne for trying to gentrify his neighborhood. So he tried to push back like his hero, Batman, does against bad people. And he went to this awkward. It's like, loosen my collar, which I don't have. I can't turn my neck, but trust me, I'm loosening my collar. So he went to this weird man at the end of an alley named Mr. Bloom. It's like, wait a minute, this is all tying in, isn't it? And I like the fact that Mr. Bloom hangs out in like one of the weird like alleys that was still overrun with plants from the 0 year.
Yeah,
like that ties it. I thought that's a really nice world building right there. So Mr. Bloom gave him this weird Venom like Langstrom serum kind of combo that gave him powers, and the havoc that he wreaked led to him burning down his own store while the gangbangers were there by complete coincidence, and then he got shot by the cop in the melee. So because there was man-bat juice in the serum, as he was dying, he grew wings and flew off and died falling out of the sky. Case solved! Year 1, Batman learns to talk to disadvantaged youths, and Mr. Bloom has been a presence in the city for a lot longer than we've known.
Yeah.
That tied together very nicely.
Yeah, as I said, as you said, the world building aspect of it, and the fact that it's not Court of Owls style. He's been in the background, but it is another one of those elements that, maybe someone's been out there kind of tinkering with stuff, and these freaks that you are running across aren't all as separate as you think they are. So I thought that was a nice touch as well. Mr. Bloom seems to be a very interesting character. I think, I don't want to say anything as far as I think he is, but I think he also ties back to 0 Year as well. Yeah. I think there's more than just the back alleys where he hangs out as far as who he is. So I think that'll be an interesting turn.
Yes.
Myself. If I'm right.
Yes.
If I'm right. Am I next again?
You can do Earth 2 Society if you want.
Should we just say Batman's still awesome?
Batman's still awesome,
Are we surprising anyone at this point?
Yeah, it's like we give Snyder a tough time, but Batman's awesome.
Yeah, it really is. I know, we do joke around a little bit about the Wikipedia entries on occasion. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but it helps.
It gives us so much stuff. It gives us so much stuff to work with because it's good. It's not one of those things where like it's bad, we're going to make fun of it.
Yeah,
it's more like we've got to do something. We've got to be goofy about it.
I think our tone changes as far as how we say things when it's I'm not digging this issue and that's why I'm being jokey versus I'm just being a little snarky while I'm going over a book I actually like. So, i.e. Grayson next week. So next up, Earth 2 Society, number 4, the Society. If you guys recall, Earth 2 had a little bit of an issue. It blew up.
Yeah.
Whoops, we got eaten by Apocalypse. And these guys have gone and settled a new planet, a planet that used to be called Telos, but isn't anymore. It doesn't really have a name now. I guess it's Earth 2-2, because it's the second Earth 2. I guess that's how you would name it.
The other half of Firestorm, he went to a whiteboard and he wrote, here's Earth 1 and here's Earth 2. Am I explaining this slow enough for you? Joe West.
But the Earth 2 equivalents of Flash and Dick Bats go after Val Zod because in the last issue, they have their just in case this doesn't work out reset button Genesis device that can turn any planet into Earth 2 as it was.
Batman invented it.
Yeah, exactly. Right before it was destroyed. And Terry Sloan was trying to activate it, but someone murdered him right there in the streets of Gotham. So their first person that they suspect is Val-Zod, because he has an undying hatred for Terry Sloan in the year of skip time that we have. All we know is that he hates Terry Sloan, and now Power Girl hates Val-Zod. So the two of them show up to his city that he has built called Crossroads and goes, hey, I see you at the Crossroads, but I need to know, did you kill Terry Sloan? He goes, no, that's not it at all. Here's the actual story as to why everyone hates each other right now. A year ago, Anarchy started this rebellion in Neotropolis, and that was when Power Girl and I were still an item, and we were hanging out there, and we tried to bust it up. But Terry Sloan, in his little space station Overwatch 1 that he has up there right next to the red sun that also orbits this planet, so we couldn't get to him, he just decided to break up this Anarchy rebellion mob by shooting orbital weaponry down into the citizens, and we were not cool with that whatsoever. So we caught a teleporter back up to Overwatch 1 and said, hey, what the hell, dude? What's going on? Why are you murdering innocent people? And that's when Terry Sloan told Power Girl about the fact that while Val-Zod was a captive back on Earth 2, because remember, Val-Zod crashed on Earth and Terry Sloan is the one that found him and then took him and raised him in a bunker underneath and blah, blah, blah. We're going back into the backstory stuff. But while that was there, it turns out that Val-Zod is the one that taught him how to detonate the fire pits that were on Earth 2 that ended up killing billions of people in Terry Sloan's efforts to kill off all of the parademons and ended up killing a bunch of innocent civilians, including Power Girl's father. And now Power Girl's like, how could you? And she hates him. And Val-Zod's like, how could you tell her that? And that was what made him become a pacifist in the first place. He basically tells everyone, this is why I'm a pacifist. I already killed 1 billion people. I met my quota. My kill counter is maxed out. I rolled that shit over. I am not murdering anyone else, so it could not have been me. I didn't kill Terry Sloan. And as everyone's like, well, who did it? Blah, 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 blah. Mr. Terrific interrupts on the comms and goes, hey, guys, I know you're trying to solve a mystery and all, but looks like Anarchy took over the Overwatch 1 satellite weapon system and is trying to bring it online and is targeting Neotropolis as we speak. Oh, you pesky Anarchy. Somehow he also got into space and spray painted an Anarchy symbol on the side of the space station. Really resourceful for a kid hacker. But
Yeah, really.
I gotta give him props for that one. However he did it, kudos to you, sir, because the way everyone's talking, it's very difficult to get up to orbit because the flyers can't get up there due to the red sun, and the teleporters are the only people that can get Sandman, essentially. He's the only one that can get there back and forth. And yeah, I don't know, maybe Sandman occasionally does some graffiti art for pay, I guess. I don't know, now that Terry Sloan's gone.
A Sandman or a Sand Demon?
No, he's a Sandman.
Okay, gotcha.
He's a Sandman. But I like what they're doing here, the world building. And they have their emergency, just in case this fails, reset button just in the background. So they have an out, but at the same time, they get to do stuff like this. And I still enjoy each hero got to build a city in their own image, which explains why they each have such differing settings as far as Metropolis, Gotham, blah, 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 blah. Basically,
it's almost like the city is its own character.
It almost is. But I think that's a great explanation as to why you have such differing tones, like vastly different tones all over the place, and it works out fairly well.
Would you say that this is similar to that like Mortal Kombat DC superheroes series, where it's sort of like, we can do whatever we want?
Kind of.
Okay.
Kind of. The Injustice one?
Injustice, that's what it was.
Yeah, I mean, it feels that way, that they have a as I said, a reset button, so they can kind of kill people off, I think, and do the reset back to that point right before the Earth exploded, Earth 2 exploded. So they have outs. They can do what they want. We'll see if they use that currency well, though.
All right, I'm going to move on to Gotham Academy number 10.
Back
throwing
to
all
school.
sense of continuity out the window. So we're back at Gotham Academy. The theater department is just constantly catching on fire, and everyone that was in the current play quits because they think the Phantom is back at Gotham Academy.
Is it the Gray Ghost?
No, he's the drama teacher.
Well, still.
Yeah.
He could be a ghost, too.
Yeah, so Olive, our main protagonist, Olive, she thinks she saw the ghost of her mom, Calamity, setting the fire. And she's been hearing Calamity telling her to do things, so it might be her blacking out and becoming Calamity herself.
Not good.
Olive might be cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But in order to search for the ghost in the theater, the detective club has to take up all the roles in Macbeth for Simon Trent's production. And of course, remember that he was the Grey Ghost / Adam West.
Yes.
Which we've kind of brought up, but every time he's talking, you should be imagining Adam West performing. That's the very important thing when reading Mr. Trent. So there's a girl named Catherine that Mr. Trent keeps turning down for roles, and it seems like she might be behind it all, but there's also a lot of mud. Someone would even say possibly clay.
Okay.
Kind of just laying around the crime scenes. And it turns out that's both, because Catherine is the daughter of Clayface, and an aspect of him is living inside of her, and attacks Simon Trent, because Basil Carlo was an actor, and Trent, you stole all of my roles, you stole my wife, your love was a secret, just like my house was. So Clayface and Mr. Trent have an acting off, until the detective club douses Clayface with a fire hose, and melts him away until only Catherine is left, and they befriend her. So Clayface might have been posing as Calamity. It seems like it. But Pommeline, also a member of the detective club, who fancies herself a witch in the lamest way possible.
Hot topic.
The most hot topic way possible, I suppose. Yeah. At least our era hot topic,
Yes,
not the new
now.
internet meme hot topic that we got now. But Pommeline has seen that Calamity has been spotted by the fire department elsewhere in Gotham, so did she ever really die in the first place?
Ooh.
Excellent Simon Trent there. Ooh.
I'm trying to figure out, so their gang now, their little club is a teen bat, a man bat teenager.
I don't think he's officially part of the team, but he's a reoccurring side character.
Okay. They have an aspect, a fractal of Clayface.
Yeah.
That's going to hang out with them. A Hot Topic witch.
Mm-hmm. The daughter of a supervillain.
Yeah.
A fire-starting supervillain.
And then the daughter of a cop.
Daughter of a cop. Possibly a crooked cop.
Possibly. And
her brother, who's a tennis star.
Yes, tennis star. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. If we just want to bring in more anime influences here, this guy's really good at tennis.
And then they have their bad boy lockpicker with his satchel of fireworks and stuff like that. That's it.
Yeah, his confiscated, school.
Dennis the Menace via circa 2015.
Yeah, Bart Simpson meets Dennis the Menace.
So that's a crew.
Mm-hmm.
What are they going to name this group at some point? The superheroes of tomorrow. Trying to think of that, because they don't really have a defining theme other than school buddies. And
I keep calling they do call themselves Detective Club.
Yeah, and Superhero Club though too.
No, she just wanted to join Superhero Club after she met Batgirl.
Fair enough. It's fun.
Yeah,
it's still really fun.
It's a lot of fun.
Next up, Harley Quinn Road Trip Special number 1. I'm not going to spend too long on this one because it is just a hodgepodge of goofiness, because Harley receives word from her mother. Her mom calls and says, "Hey Harley, your uncle died. He's out on the West Coast and we're going to have the funeral in a couple days, so you probably want to make your way out there." And immediately I was stuck with, does her mom know that she's a supervillain, and is this just like a normal phone call for them or something? Because it seemed like very mundane and normal.
There's a supervillain named Harley Quinn. My daughter's name is Harleen Quinzel. No, it couldn't be. That's too obvious.
So she wrangles up her friends Catwoman and Poison Ivy to take a road trip out to the West Coast.
The sirens.
Yep, because she didn't want to. Her friends tell her not to make the trip alone, so she gets her gal pals, and they do a road trip full of misadventures where they cross paths with someone named Darkwolf. Some dude with like a wolf head on that is also stealing stuff, and they just embarrass him all across the U.S. and punch him with cactuses and, the usual. And they also end up picking up Jimmy Olsen and Bizarro as they're hitchhiking their way to Canada.
Really?
Yeah,
that's
give
fun.
them a ride.
That's fun.
And end up playing Truth or Dare because they think that Jimmy and Bizarro are a couple, and Bizarro keeps saying, "Yes, we couple," and he's like, "No, you don't understand. He speaks backwards." And they're like, "Oh, that's so cute." And it ends with them playing Truth or Dare and Bizarro flying with his pants off and yeah, whatever. So
Does Bizarro Superman wear his underwear on the inside?
I think he did in this case. I think he did.
Splendid.
So they end up making it to the ceremony, the funeral, and Poison Ivy grows a big tree over the grave and everything like it's really nice. And then they come home and they toast to those friends that they have lost and those that are still with them. It has a nice little ending to it where it's not as goofy an ending, but their road trip is a lot of sun tanning and swimming and sleepovers
and know your base.
It's still a cute little book though, as far as what they're doing. They're trying to run two different audiences, it feels like, as far as the goofy, random, also random group, as well as the, oh, that's a pretty picture, I quite enjoy it group as well. And, they got a nice little meld going.
Yeah.
Although they did have a scene where someone says something quite randy to, Harley, and they ask what they said, and they say about the internet outrage culture, would be very upset for months about it, and but they're just not really that offended. So they understand where they fit, and it's Connor and Palmiotti, and we went through the same thing with All-Star Western where they run that line, so to speak, and I think they stop it just shy of, but I can understand some people that are just like, they're ruining it. Nah, not really my issue. So
All right. The issue I have is Justice League United number 13.
Yeah.
So this month, the team of Stargirl, Robot Man, Batgirl, Steel, and Vandal Savage are sent to deal with an anomaly in Eracourt, France, or where time has gone all wibbly and wars across all different time periods are taking place at the same time. So we get to see a bunch of old DC War Comics characters like Enemy Ace and Sergeant Rock.
Cool.
And we saw and we also had a flashback of an old World War II meeting between Sergeant Rock and Vandal Savage, and it didn't go that well. So now Sergeant Rock is more than ready to try to murder Vandal Savage, and we'll see what the heck is going on next issue.
Well, get in line. I think everyone's tried to murder Vandal Savage.
Yeah, it's been.
We've been following him throughout the entire New 52 history, and everyone
wants to murder Vandal Savage. Yeah. Yeah, Paul Pelletier took over with art. It's fine. Travel Foreman is missed.
Yeah,
Yeah. But Paul did get to draw an awesome smirking Animal Man in this issue, and that's all I can ask for with a Justice League United story.
So let's talk about another team.
Okay,
a new team, a Suicide Squad, a new Suicide Squad, number 12. Where
hashtag squad goals.
Hey, guess what? Their mission has gone sideways.
Oh man,
I know it's a first. Where they have tried to infiltrate the nation state of the League that is rising in the Middle East, that they're trying to convince people to come and fight for them, and using weapons to, old retired supervillain and superhero weapons in their arsenal, and that's what they're doing. And, unfortunately, everyone except Reverse Flash has been either embedded with the group, i.e. Deadshot, Captain Boomerang, and Black Manta are infiltrating them so they can't blow their cover, or been straight up captured by the League. So it's Harley Quinn and Parasite. They've been captured, so it's just Reverse Flash with broken ankles. Man, this sucks. That was my only power, is running, and I can't run. And then Black Manta and Deadshot are still out and about. But Black Manta has gone native. He has decided, hey, these people have a purpose, a design, something they're fighting for, and I feel like I want to be part of that, so we shouldn't be working with Amanda Waller to dismantle this. We should actually be working with them. And Deadshot is like, no, that's A, stupid, B, going to get us all killed, and C, stupid. So they kind of go their separate ways, and as Black Manta is going back to tell the leader of the League that they were sent there to dismantle them, but they want to actually join instead, Deadshot is thinking about whether he just wants to bug out entirely, but then figures that his daughter wouldn't respect a father that would do something like that. He's talking to the little kids that are in the child army that they're raising there, and kind of going, do I really want to be that type of father for my daughter? No. So he decides he's going to rescue all of his teammates and get them out of there. And it's probably not going to go well. I would say it's probably going to go sideways. I would say it will.
Maybe.
So, better than it was. Art's a lot more stable. The characterizations are a bit more fun, I guess. Harley Quinn, since she doesn't have any powers for them to exploit, she gets locked up with all of the children that got in trouble last issue because Captain Boomerang decided to have a soccer match with them. Because, he's British or Australian or whatever. They like soccer, right? Isn't that how it works?
Yeah.
America! He's from some foreign land. They like soccer, don't they?
They call it football. What's that all about?
So he ended up having a soccer game with the kids, and they all got in trouble and locked up, so they lock Harley Quinn in there with them, and she's all being goofy, going, "Oh, you guys are horrible. I hate you. You all smell like farts." And then she just starts making fart noises, and all the kids start laughing, and she actually warms up to the kids and then decides she wants to protect all these kids and lead them out into safety. And as I said, you get a little bit more characterization with the characters instead of just, we shoot stuff and there's explosions and boom, and we're gonna destroy stuff. So I like where they're going with it. I do.
They ever follow up with any of that Vic Sage stuff?
Yeah, it's still going on in this one as well. Vic Sage is acting much more amenable to Amanda Waller, where he's agreeing with her and stating, okay, you're probably right. We'll follow your plan and do it your way this time. So I don't know if he's playing a long game con or if he's actually just like, okay, well, let's actually start working together a little bit more because he's stuck in that job no matter what.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're still running around with that stuff.
Okay. All right. Moving on to Starfire number 4. This is not so much an issue of Starfire, but an issue of Terra. You see, the monster that's been lurking in the...
the monster!
We're not allowed to do that anymore, Sean.
Oh, sorry.
So, the monster that's been lurking in the background of this issue is a cheetah monster. Chida. It's not a a rare cheetah, you know. And it's also not a chia monster. It's not something that you get as like a joke Christmas gift.
I'm glad you're really breaking this out for me
here. So it's tying up the loose ends from the Connor Palmiotti Terra miniseries from like 7 years ago.
Okay.
She has
so nice that they get to bring their toys out of the toy box.
I know. She has the powers of Teen Titans Terra, but she's actually the chosen one from a secret underground world called Strata. But it's just a coincidence that she happens to have these powers.
Is it underneath Gotham? Please tell me it's underneath Gotham.
No, it's not. The cheetah monster is there because Atlee, that's her real name. This Terra's name's Atlee.
Okay.
That's how people will differentiate it. Oh, it's Atlee Terra. Turned down its king for an arranged marriage, and he really holds a grudge. They still don't explain why the rest of the people of Strata look like Muppets, and she looks like a regular Surface World babe, but
royalty.
Shrug, yeah. So her and Starfire team up and enjoy being slightly doofy fish out of water heroes together, and they sink the cheetah monster at the bottom of the ocean. And meanwhile, Stella, the chief of police, is just beside herself that her favorite waitress is actually like an underground Harry Potter, and an alien from another planet who is living in her spare bedroom are fighting monsters in the middle of her city. It's just all pretty great, and that's not even covering Starfire imagining what an ass clown would actually look like.
I don't think I want to know that, actually.
Donkey in a clown suit.
Okay,
this is innocent Starfire, remember.
Okay, I was thinking Jack in the Box style, and it was not very clean.
No. Yeah, so elsewhere, Starfire's sister Blackfire hires a bounty hunter to kill her, and a guy who can control people with his voice named Soren. Spooky Soren is trying to hit on Starfire at a bar, so that's where we will pick up next issue.
Nice. Is it still
It's still fun.
Innocent fun, or is it...
It's more. I'd almost describe it as cheeky fun.
Cheeky fun.
Okay,
I can see cheeky with this.
It's sort of like toeing that fine line. It's like, well, yeah, there's pretty ladies, but also it's silly, and
much like
there's
Harley
like an innocent
Quinn.
tone.
Well,
Yeah,
they go a little bit further with Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn goes a little bit further in the one direction. This one goes a little bit further in the other.
So, see, you get variety.
And for the 5 people who read the old Terra miniseries, hey, this is a lot of fun for us too.
Hey guys, welcome back.
Thanks, guys.
So speaking of unappreciated characters, Red Hood and Arsenal, number 4. Actually, I would say both of these guys have gotten a lot of face time in the New 52, and they've built up their
fan base.
Yeah, I would say they have, most definitely. Between, what was the Last Titans one. Young Justice cartoon.
Yeah.
Building up Arsenal a bit, and then Red Hood, obviously, between the games and the cartoons and stuff like that, he's gotten a bit of a push.
Everyone always talks about how Red Hood is one of the better animated ones they've put out lately.
Yep.
So,
So I mean, I think they're getting up to at least B status.
Yeah.
They're getting to that B status. Come on, guys.
a C plus is still good.
Yeah, C plus is good, but I think they're solid Bs right now.
Okay.
They're in that tier. So they are off trying to track down Underbelly, the physical embodiment of crime. Yeah, I know. They were promoted to B status. And they decide to go to Gotham City because if it's the physical embodiment of crime, it will end up there at some point. More likely sooner rather than later. Arsenal, as soon as they get there, finds out about Batman's death and is amazed that Jason Todd is not, like, crushed about this because you guys were tight. You guys are, like, really close. And Jason's just like, dude, it's Gotham. He'll be back in 6 months. Trust me, this is not the first time this has happened. He's like, okay, I guess you know the city better than I do. I'm going to go find some info and get some weaponry before we go fight Underbelly. And what happens is as Jason's catching up with people that he knew in Gotham City, like the waitress is someone that he knew when he was a street urchin kid, and they end up having a conversation. While that's going on, Roy Harper goes and visits his sponsor, Killer Croc, in the sewers, who's underneath a church at an AA meeting himself, just sitting under the grates underneath it, listening to it. And Killer Croc, again, being this awesome voice of wisdom that's just, I absolutely love this Killer Croc, man. I don't know why. He's just, it's the perfect balance for him, I think, because we've seen him go full rage mode when something he cares about is being threatened or has been killed, and just is feral, tearing things apart, snapping people in half. But he doesn't want to be that. He just wants to protect what he cares about. And he's like, dude, I'm not your sponsor anymore. What are you doing here? And he goes, I just want to check up on you, see how you're doing. He's like, no, what's going on for real? And Roy Harper tells him that he's not feeling quite right ever since Starfire left, and he's afraid he's going to fall off the wagon, but he's not sure who to talk to. And Killer Croc goes, you'll know who to talk to when you absolutely need it. I mean, it's not me, but you'll figure it out. And the two kind of go their separate ways, and still friends, still friendly to one another, still looking out after one another. Again, that whole Killer Croc finding Roy Harper when he hit rock bottom and was throwing dead cats at people. It was just like, dude, come on. you need to detox for a bit.
Yeah.
And ended up getting him back off of the drugs and the alcohol and everything. That's a pretty cool Killer Croc to me, and the fact they keep calling back to it and bringing that one little personality trait of him in there. Love it. So the two meet up once more, and unfortunately, as they go to where they believe Underbelly is, that's when Robo Batman and his Batman blimp spots them and goes, Red Hood, you put heads in duffel bags and stab people with serrated knives. You're a bad guy. And jumps down and starts fighting them, and they're like, what's going on? I thought you were friends with Batman. This isn't the Batman I know. He looks like Batman, but he's a robot. I don't know what's happening. So they keep fighting each other. But of course that fight is broken up because it was just a misunderstanding when
in a superhero comic.
I know. When Underbelly busts out of the building that they were standing in front of, all larg, 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 gloopy monster. And they go, what the hell? And they all three turn their attention towards him instead. And that's where we'll pick it up from there. It's snarky. Again, I feel like I say it every time. It's that early 20-something, just Nimrods out there doing their thing. And it works fairly well. They all have enough emotion within them for you to actually care about them. And that's what I like about it. It's not lol so random. It's not just we're idiots. The characters have a core to them. You know why Jason Todd is the way he is. You know why Roy Harper is the way he is. They've all lost stuff. They're broken people, and they're just trying to make do with what they got. And they just don't want to follow in the footsteps of their mentors / trainers / the people they work for, be it Green Arrow or Batman. They want to forge their own paths regardless, and they're doing it. It's a path. We'll just say that much with their company of red R's. So.
Okay. All right. Finishing off with All-Star Section 8, number 4.
Forging its own path.
Yeah. So Section 8 tries to get Wonder Woman to join the team, who flatly refuses. And then Bader just hits her over the head with a giant hammer, and she gets amnesia and acts like a 6-year-old girl pretending to be Wonder Woman.
Yep.
She helps plan the wedding of Bueno Excelente and Guts at a Noonan's Sleazy Pub, and then tries to build them a hotel room for the honeymoon out of tables and bar stools. Bader hits her over the head with a mallet again, and she comes to her senses, and once again reiterates the general, the overarching theme of All-Star Section 8, which is this never happened.
Yeah, you will never speak of this.
Yeah. And the entire time Six-Pack was having an existential crisis about how wrong this all was, and could swear that Wonder Woman called him by his real name at one point. So again, is this all being hallucinated by a blackout drunk? I don't know. This is really walking.
Yeah.
This is walking that tightrope here.
I think they're doing a good job with it, though. I do like I don't want to say deconstructionist, but every single time a character shows up, one of the normal heroes, they're basically put into the polar opposite situation of what defines them as a character, as far as being a strong woman, all of a sudden being a 6-year-old girl planning weddings and stuff. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, I was certainly hoping for more dog welding and less Bueno Excelente-ing, but you know.
In your All-Star Section 8.
Yeah, in my All-Star Section 8, but I guess you're going to get what you're going to get with All-Star Section 8.
Yeah. But that's it. That's all the books.
Yeah.
Yay, we're back on track. I know this episode was a little rough. We're kicking a lot of rust off the wheels here as we get back into things, but as we do, we should find our place once more. That being said, make sure you go out there and buy these books. Maybe not these issues. Maybe you heard one of these books and it sounds like something interesting is going on, and you'll just pick up next month or something like that. But just support.
Catch up on Comixology. I don't know.
Yeah, support what you like. Support what speaks to you. Don't let anyone tell you what's good or bad, especially us. We're just another opinion, just like everyone else. So if you love it, keep on supporting it, because if you don't buy it, they won't make it. That's just how it works. Unless you're Omega Men, and then you can say, but it's good, and then they'll make it some more.
Yeah.
Because it is pretty good. But don't plan on that situation ever happening.
It doesn't
again.
always work.
It very, very, very rarely works. It's like 1 in 100.
Spider-Girl, Manhunter, now Omega Men. Think about how many other issues of the series have been canceled in the meantime.
Exactly. So just think of it that way. Support what you like, just so it sticks around. Next week we are going to do another double week. We'll do weeks 16 and 17.
Yep, sounds about right.
That comes after 14 and 15, I think.
That's how numbers work.
Yeah, I think so. I don't have them in front of me, but we will cover all those books.
Mm-hmm.
There's lots of them, and they're fun, and we'll read them and talk about them.
Jokes.
No, I don't make jokes.
Japes?
I don't even make japes. I just say words.
All right.
Sometimes
words will come out of our mouths near a microphone.
Figure into something that makes someone make a puff of air come out of their nose, and they go, and that's it. That's it. I don't know if that's a joke, really. That's more of just a amusing configuration of words there, Mr. Sean Lamont. And I go, thank you.
I tip my hat. I at least shoot for a chortle.
I just go for a snort. That's all I get. So, that being said, if you want to contact us and go, hey guys, glad to hear you're alive, you could do so fairly easily. I'm still working on the website. Now that I'm actually back in town, I get to get that up and running. But we are at DCR Podcast on the Facebooks and the Twitters and the bleep blah 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 blues.
Again, you toe a fine line there, Sean.
I just was going bleep blah blah blah. What are you talking about? But yeah, you can find us out there. Feel free to drop us a line. We should be more active again now that we have internet access between the two of us. So, yay! We'll go from there. Do you have anything?
You know what? Have you seen Moonbeam City yet?
I've seen the adverts for it all over the place.
It is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
And when I watched the first episode, I found out that it was made by a guy named Scott Gardner.
Okay.
Who I'm familiar with. He does a lot of work with like Funny or Die.
Okay.
But the thing that I know him most for, which it seems has flown completely under the radar on the internet, is something called Tiny Fuppets.
No, I do not know that.
Okay, yeah, it's sort of, you know how like you'll see like on Netflix, you'll see like Chopkick Panda made by some like random like Taiwanese animation studio.
Sure.
Or my personal favorite, Ratatouille.
Yes.
You know. Well, this is sort of this is something he did on his own, off to the side, and sort of his take on Muppet Babies in that kind of style intentionally. It's a Portuguese version of Muppet Babies.
Okay.
It is amazing. Last time I checked, it was like something that had like, it was like this amazingly brilliant thing that only had like 1,200 views on YouTube. I'm like, how is this not more of a thing? But he's apparently good enough to get his own TV show now.
Fair enough.
If you're enjoying Moonbeam City, track down Tiny Fuppets.
Okay.
You see Cormit in his little,
Cormit, huh?
you see him in his little vanity card at the end. So, track that down. You will not be disappointed.
Well, I guess I'll throw something out there too, because we're so far behind. If you need to fill some time with podcasts, I highly recommend the Hunt the Truth series that's being put out by, I think 343 is actually doing it themselves. It's a Halo podcast. I've never played a Halo game in my life, and I am fixated on this podcast. It was a lead-up thing they were doing to the new Halo game that I guess is coming out in a week or two, but it's all done in a Serial meets Radiolab style, where it's this journalist trying to get the history of the main character, the Master Chief, but there seems to be all this government espionage going around, and
is there a lot of really catchy film music?
No, actually, they don't do too much with the.
That's not my Serial.
No, it's a the Office of Naval Intelligence is trying to make a story the way they want it to be, and he keeps finding inconsistencies in the story and tracking people down and trying to figure out what's going on. And is it this giant government cover up, or is it just him going off his rocker? And very, very, very well done. And again, I have no history with the game or its setting, and I've enjoyed it quite a bit. So make sure you start with season 1. If you do, don't just jump into season 2, or you will never understand what's happening. It's fairly amusing.
Okay.
It actually, it's part of that guerrilla marketing stuff that is really working for me now, where, that podcast has been going on, and then all the boards or like the Reddit page for it, were taken over by the Office of Naval Intelligence, and then things were redacted out of posts. And
oh my gosh.
I mean, they're doing this amazing, guerrilla marketing for it that it just works so goddamn well.
Man.
It has me jazzed to play a game that I'm never probably going to play forever, but I'll get it later down the pike. I got so many other things to do right now, but it was a game series that I had no interest in that now suddenly I'm like actually vested in it. I'm like, this is good.
Yeah, Halo is the exact opposite of my wheelhouse, so that'll be interesting to see if I check that out.
Yeah,
if it can do the same for me. Now I'm intrigued, if anything.
2 or 3 episodes, they're like short little 10-15 minute episodes. Just give like the first couple a listen, and by the 3rd episode, you're pretty much in at that point where you're just like, hey, wait a minute. It's quite fun.
And it's Halloween week. Track down What We Do in the Shadows. You will not be disappointed.
And candy. Yeah.
And candy.
Eat candy.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. Or something. Yeah. But that's it. That's everything for this week. So until next week, everyone enjoy your books, enjoy your week, enjoy your lives, and we will talk to you then.